"24 hours it is in a day," and then given that amount of hours in a day, to others the 24 hours is more or less like a burden, because they always want it seen to have gone away, while for others it has never been so much enough. And the fact still remains that no matter what it is, either a burden or you really want more of it, you cannot have more, because that's the bad news, and it has to be like that. But the good news is that you are the pilot of the time you have. 24 hours, more or less, it's you that determines what to do with it. And whatever you're able to make out of it, that is entirely your business. So welcome to Reflections. My name is Yusuf Nadab Usman. This week, we shall be talking to our father, I must say, Abbas Dabo Sambo. It's 7-year-old. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you very much.
Time flies, and time moves as fast as it can, because that is on nature. Whatever we're able to do within the time we have is what our life is all about. I would want you to look back and then see how this time flew from the time you were born to this time around. That's basically what this program is all about. Who is Abbas Dabo Sambo?
I was born on a Monday morning, 16 September 1935, in Zaire City, in a ward called Juma Ward.
Juma, that's from the word Juma in Hausa?
Precisely.
Right.
So I had my formal Quranic school and then elementary school, all in Zaire City. But I finished my elementary school at Anchau in Kolo local government, because my father was a district head at that time. From there, I was lucky to pass my examinations for entrance into Zaire Middle School, 1946 to 1951. I passed out to Clerical Training College, which is now Congo campus of Ahmadu Bello University. I learned at the clerical school. The whole country, or North in particular, was looking for clerks for management of offices, of the colonial officers and the native authorities. So I was lucky to have been selected, and from there I was appointed as a clerk in the Native Authority Central Office. These things that you see here are very rich, because as a starter, the first time it is in typewriter, I had 43 words per minute. So when the results, and I passed other subjects, in fact, my sons refused to put all my certificates, into this book, because they said it was not usual. Now these things you see here gave me wonderful assistance in life, because in the whole of Zaria City, except at the Institute of Administration, then that time college, you will not find anyone with speed, with accuracy.
At that time?
Yes, speed and accuracy. 43 words per minute.
43 words per minute.
Yes, so Oimbo asked or advised Emir Jafar to allow me to stay in his office And they too, from the residency, provincial office, within near Sambo, will bring me a lot of their typing work. This was more important because at the end of each financial year, each native authority, treasury, had to submit annual report to Kaduna. Now it happened that from Zaria Native Authority, the first report to BNP will be from Zaria because my typing ability will be so quick to be sent to Kaduna. Now from there, the education department wanted me to be there because education department, there are a lot of staff, police, education. So at the end of the month, they wanted to have their salary in time. Now I had very good marks at my class 10 college results. So after typing, I could also assist in getting their vouchers checked so that the treasury will pay them in time. Education and the police in particular, because they are the bulk of the staff in those days. Now, at the end of each month, my salary was £6 15 shillings.
£6.
15 shillings. £6 main salary, 15 shillings they call TAP, temporary addition to rate of pay. That is TAP. So, at the end of each month, because the police in particular will bring their voucher so that I will get it set for them to the treasury. But I was in the central office. But mark you, I did treasury accounting at the Institute 1950-152. Now from there, I was what one would say, I don't know how to say it, how to kick.
Hot kick.
Yes. The department wanted me
sought after.
Wanted me to go to their department. There was Rahman Mora, who retired as ambassador to Pakistan. Rahman Mora. He was my middle school headmaster. So he supports also must be in Kaduna in time. So he remembered his old student, myself. So he asked Emir Jafaru to allow me to be transferred to the education department. But he was a government officer. But they wanted the post to be sent to Kaduna in time, like in the treasury. So I was, how to kick.
Yeah, sure.
So at the end of each month, what they did, they had Northern Teachers Association. So they said the best thing for them was to give me small allowance on a Friday. Friday then there was no work, was work free for donated authorities. And that will also enrich my pocket. So I grew really not wanting anything from anybody, but from what God has given me. So at that stage, my father died.
Your father died?
Yes.
Which year was that?
1957.
1957.
12th June 1957.
Oh.
On a Wednesday. So one resident, CK report. Mr. CK report was senior resident of Zaire province and the Akatan Kamna Northern region. So he had two posts. Mr. Report, when he would come to Kaduna as Akatan Kamna from Zaria, he will get his flag off at Rigachukun and put governor's flag.
Okay.
When he came to Kaduna, the letter he wrote himself, he signed as senior resident. The secretary of the government will say, Your Honor. They don't say His Excellency in those days.
Your Honor.
Your Honor. You wish to approve. They will say approve. CK report, stamp. Secretary of the government knows it. Now he found our father highly resourceful. And he said he must see how we would survive. Then there happened to be a lot of audit reports which are not answered by Native Authority Treasury. So Mr. Dabo said there should be a refresher course for all clerks in the various departments of Zionist authority. Now I had to be at that refresher course. At the end of it, 40 out of 40 of us, the OMO only allowed 6 of us to get the diploma.
What about the remaining ones? What happened to them?
Some, about 11 were given intermediate.
Intermediate, what does that mean?
In the diploma, intermediate, pass, fail.
Okay.
I would like to go to instructor in local government, wing of Institute of Administration. And I was there for 1 year. During that time, there was a Ford Foundation grant to all colonial domains in the country. Then within 1-2 months, there was interview, Public Service Commission of the region, and all students must be there. Now about 40 or more of us. Being Abbas, I was first to enter. And when I went, now the principal of the in charge of training, and then his deputy Kakari in charge of training. So 2 members. Now there's Bella Kanu, Makaman Kanu, and then there's Abu Imam. So they gave me marks. They gave me marks B plus, and I was not there for only 5 minutes. Now about 2 things I'll mention about this course. The first was, we have to go to Owe, Southern Cameroons. We went there and they gave us 3 caps for swimming. Then went with swimming. I was prepared to have my blue cap because I put along those who could swim very well to have blue cap. But I had a cut. I was swimming, but then they saw blood.
Blood?
Yes, from my leg. But I continued. So they got me out. And then I had to go to hospital for only 5 days. Now from there, when we came, they said that I'm trying to shorten it up. There will be final assessment of the 11 sections. Because Sardauna, Awolo, Zik, they are first-class Nigerians. Because they organized this training. So they warned us, and as I promised, AVM visited us. And he took part in a lot of things, because they were with us for 1 week from the AVM. You know, we took lunch with them, we did this and done lots of things. You know, they are trying to get us, as young men, so that Nigeria could come up, not as we are now.
Not as we are now. This is where we're headed. I really want us to come to this very point. You've seen all this. You've had all this. You met all this. And then you are now still alive, talking about Nigeria, and then seeing what is happening. As a person who has gone through this, where do you think was the missing link?
The missing link, fundamentally, is 1999 problematic political system. The leaders I worked with and I saw them, they never worried themselves to amass any wealth. It's not their business. The business is how do our children, grandchildren, how would they survive? How would they survive? Not because of you. Wallahi, I don't like this because it's so.
It's very emotional, really. Yeah, it's very small. I can see that, really. I can see that.
So, life is life. Nigeria, as far as I'm concerned, is a country of its own. But why? The British came and saw us, and they thought we would arrive to keep ourselves together alone, without even their colonial insinuations. But they said, no, we should go to America. Where is America? What is America? What is America? You're talking Britain in the world. You're talking of China in the world. What is America?
But when you look back, sir, when you look back into history, you study your civil service just thereabout, 1954, 56, thereabout, and then you moved on up to time you retired in 1975 or thereabout. You had a lot of, experience about the British people, how they were, what they were, and how they impacted knowledge onto you, which you succeeded them and took over. Now, the world is a global village. You cannot be an island as a country. So having to go around and then seek friends and the rest of them cannot be a very bad thing for Nigerian leaders at that time. I don't know why you feel bad about other things, but
if you ask you one question. Would you live alone and distance yourself from your parents and fathers?
You cannot.
It's the same thing. In politics, Britain is our father. Yeah, sure. Britain is our mother. And the father and mother must be from a good fathers and mothers. Let me ask you, who are the fathers of America?
Britain.
They got the independence from who?
From Britain.
And you say Britain is nothing.
But even at that time, sir, Nigeria was even aligning with Russia, Nigeria was aligning with America, Nigeria was with Britain and the rest of them. I can remember the Abuja Steel Complex at that time that was conceived by the Russians. It was modeled after the Russian type and things like that. So it wasn't a bad idea, I may think, I don't know.
It may not be a bad idea, but it's physically, politically, implementally a very bad idea. I said since 1999 Constitution is not for Nigeria. But all I'm saying is that the time is now ripe for us to find out our way out. And the way out to me is parliamentary system. Nothing else. It will not work. And I'm telling you, when people want to change, I'm old now, but I would wish to see the time. There will be a change, whether anybody likes or not. Why you can't dip your hand in the cover of Nigeria and do what you like with the public resources? It will come. It will come. Look at it. Look at the education. Look at the universities. Look at this sort of thing. Now, talking about the presidential system, we are now in. I am sorry for General Buhari. I don't want to quote names. But I pity him because he is working under a sort of trap. He can't move this way, he can't move that way, he can't. He has a big heart. If I am, I would have tens left the scene. But he has a good big heart. He wants to do it, but he can't do it. The son is downgrading him.
You seem not to be, happy with the system. Now let's get back to where you are happy with. When you were in the civil service, when you were working as a civil servant and then you went around the places, you were in Jos, you were in Kano, and all over most of these places in the north. You moved around. Give us a fun memory which we can learn from. All right, a fun memory which can learn from as young ones are watching this program. What do we learn from you from that time, given the accountability thing you're talking about?
The fundamental thing is the Lord of mercy, your creator. Remember him all the time. When I was in Kano, back to, Kano, then Jos. I was given 250,000 pounds to run 1963 census.
1963 census. Okay.
For
which area?
Kano province.
Right.
Kano Jigawa. They were together in those days. Maka Mbed, there was Minister of Finance. He addressed all provincial census officers for the region. When, at the end of the conference, he said the person to do Kano province, that's the Kaduna Jigawa now, should wait for some further discussions. I will tell you, I am going to be the first to transfer all my returns to Lagos. That is my mission. And if I work out with some money, I'll engage, Kanu will come to me, Dambata, Chief National Officer for NPC, I'll tell them to engage these people politically. Wallahi, it works out very, very well.
Okay.
And I had 245 trucks. And about 4,000 only big one. 245. The railways were very helpful. And 3 policemen and 3 other laborers to pick these things to Lagos. The first to be in Lagos. And the Suki will be Northern Nigeria representative in National Census Board. They said I must be given special promotion, and they promoted adequately. That made me to be happy. And I returned money back to Kaduna.
That's what I wanted to ask you. 250, pounds.
Yes,
then.
yes. After I paid NIF people, NPC people, the allowance and so on and so forth, I said about 18,000 pounds. I took 2,000 pounds. I left 2,000 pounds. When this happened in Kaduna, 2 people came to me. They met in my house in the evening. They said, Madam Dabo, this sort of thing, you don't have to return it. The person in Kaduna said, out of this 16,000 pounds, what are you going to take? Your house is multi-building in Zaria and so on. Now he will put zinc. I said, no, it's not my money. I don't want it. That's why I said, well, when I served in Hadija, a division officer, for 6 months, I was paid 40 pounds each month. That money is still there on my account. I have not spent it. So why have I got people's money? I tell you, these people wanted to come to Kaduna from Kano then to Jos. But these women came to Kaduna, Kano, Jos, Kaduna. When they saw me, they felt shy. Because I refused to do what they wanted to do.
Yeah, sure.
So from Kano, I went to Jos. And the Premier Asirki made that soldiers in peace. He said, please get him some of these my children to be in Jos. The trouble in Jos is worrying me. I don't have to win election there to be a premier. I update my handing over every weekend. So the thing is only Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That's how much I can even forget about it. So I went and found Premier Abuja. He said, oh, you are Abbas? I said, yes, sir. Do you know how you have been said to come here? I said, I have not known this. Do you know this person? I said, I know him. Who is he? I said, he is Ali Bagajanga in Sokoto. What was he before? I said, he was my provincial commissioner. You are deputy in Kano province. He said it is you that can do works here for us to be happy and comfortable and just people to know that a government available.
What exactly was your mandate then in Jos? Why are you being moved to Jos from Kano? What does the premier wanted you to do specifically? He wanted
2 things. You see, they're very quarrelsome. Because the tribes very quarrelsome.
Okay, in Jos.
Now they're used to colonial officers, dictation, do this, do that. But now with such of our people, there's difference. So the premier was happy because Aliyu Bagajanga in Sokoto, my former provincial commissioner, told him that chap will wipe our tears.
This is a very sensitive area I want us to talk about. I don't want you to be so passionate about that. It's a sensitive area in the sense that it involves the death of some of the mentors, some elders, and whatever it is. This issue of the coup and the death of Saradona, Tefao, Balewa, and the big shows we had. These are very serious issues. But before we do that, let's take a break.
When Shagari wanted to make me a minister, he called me. He said, I want you to develop and deliver still the life of my administration. I said, sir. Do you have that much confidence in me? He said, yes. This was a politician now talking. And I did. And I delivered steel to Nigeria in six months' time.
I'm committed to a united Nigeria where nobody is discriminated against on the basis of his religion or tribe.
Ojukwu didn't want any settlement. He didn't want to come back to Nigeria, to return Eastern region. He was bent on secession.
Have we really learned lessons from the Civil War?
We have not. And I tell you, and the main people who have not learned, let him say it. It's you people.
We who?
The journalists.
You're welcome back. So before we went on break, we were talking about Kaduna and what happened in Kaduna, but I was a little bit, concerned about the date, most especially 65, 66, and these were, historic dates in Nigeria. Tell us about your Kaduna experience first before we go into what I really want us to talk about.
Well, my post to Kaduna, to be administrator of Kaduna. In other words, to control the entire Kaduna metropolis under Kaduna Capital Law 1954. Revised 1956.
Right.
Kaduna had an administrator because they wanted to develop the town as a town worthy of the name of the capital of the northern Nigeria. So it happened that the treasury was in a mess, like Jos native treasury in a mess of those days. So I was just rang on telephone. Messages came through for you to be in Kaduna on the next 2 days. As I told you earlier on, I used to update my handover notes every weekend in case of emergency.
Anything can happen.
When I came, my first assignment was to deal with the treasury.
Okay.
The treasurer was imprisoned.
Well, did you have any forehand information about the finances in Kaduna then before you came, or you just felt that was something you could do?
I have.
All right.
There was one a British officer, Mr. Wilson. He was in the Ministry of Local Government, Northern Nigeria. He used to visit me in Jos every 3 months because you have to have a return of the native tax under your divisional administration with their own comments there.
Okay.
It happened in the whole northern Nigeria. It's only my senior brother, Sambo, and was in Makudi doing that, Benue province, and myself from Jos. Because both of them had training, and he too had a diploma in treasury accounting. And later, after 2 years, I too got this diploma. So the difference, because you understand the operation of the treasury, within 2-3 years you understand whether they are going well or not well. So this Prime Minister of Government, he used to visit me just every 3 months. From the returns I used to send to them, how the treasury was going on, okay, and what efforts I was making. And mind you, apart from salary, I was having, and my brother was having 40 hours monthly allowance.
Okay. Yeah.
Not to bother yourself with any information about how to do that.
So that you don't put your eye on public
Precisely.
funds, sorry.
Precisely. So when I came to Kaduna with that situation, I told that the treasury was in a mess, like in Jos. So for the treasury, I said, okay, no problem. I set the system of working in the treasury according to the financial memoranda.
According to?
Financial memoranda.
Okay.
For use in native authorities in the whole region. It has not been followed. But the man who was there, and the cashier who was jailed, you know, came from Zazo Emirate, and he wanted to be Basaraki. He wanted to be a chief, or whatever you call it.
The title holder.
That's right. So he was giving himself the money, giving it to people who would say, okay, we want to pray for you to be
This is a good man. He is very generous and things like
so
that.
I found him in prison. So there was no treasurer. I said, no problem. I asked the Minister of Local Government, give me one chap, saying what I say. Because I knew he had interview developer certificate to me in those days.
But excuse me, before you proceed, prison, people don't go to prison like that. Facts have been, the crime has to be established. What was his crime before he went to prison?
His crime was this. Unless you're an accountant, you can't anything from what you read in the cash book.
You can't.
You cannot. What happened was the fault of the account of the government. Because the accountant there, the treasurer, was an accountant from the accountant's office. But then he was working with the laws of the native authority. So it's incompatible.
Okay.
So what he did was just, he would come sometime, briefly, with a boy, something, finish his name. He's not doing his work, but he cannot do the work. You see, in the government account those days, and not only account those days, they are different, under different laws. Now, if you need somebody from that law to come and operate in another different law, it didn't work. And they just go until one day came. They said that thing should stop. Our council of the region should have nothing to do with this. We are going to use the native authority laws for the native authority and control native authority. It was a native authority as well. So the council was a bit Peter is not happy.
They're bringing in something new.
He's bringing in. I said, sir, the accounting system, accounting law resources is easier than yours. Why? Because government operation was wise. Everything to be bought from overseas. But it's done through the crown agents in London.
Okay.
And they will guarantee. But this one is just local, for local administration. So I think the telephone I had, the longest of my lifetime, without account general. Yes, Mr. Wells. And later it became an account general.
Surprisingly.
Yes.
Right, great.
So he said, what did I want? I said, you should withdraw his accountant.
Okay.
Because government accounting, you cannot establish it until after 3 months. Then you will know the situation. But for local authority accounting, within 1 month, the necessary for 16. That will give you really what happened last month. But there I told you, the transaction with the crown agent for colonies in Britain. So they will buy such things for us, which we have not paid, and then the demand will come after some months. But this one is just local. So Mr. Wells understood. He said he never bothered to find about it, but until now I told him. So he quickly withdrew his accountant. Then I established this Saidu Wase, whom I know had the treasure with me at the same time, but he got the intermediate certificate. So local government released him for me. So we set up. So things came fine. Now the second thing what happened there of importance was that they called a meeting with some permanent secretaries, British permanent secretaries, and the out of Nigerian permanent secretaries, Northern Nigerian. The Suki was there, Ibrahim Argungu was there, Muhammad Lawal Banu was there. Jordan was whole period in those days. So they said Kaduna has been mutilated because building all over the place. What they wanted me to do is, as a minister, to go and demolish all buildings at Angwedimi. Yeah. When will you start? I say, sorry. I think we should not do that. Why? Because number one, the people settled in Angwadimi, most of them were junior civil servants, junior traders. Some of them there have been there for over 50 or so years. To go and demolish the place there is, I think, is not wise. Because what are they going to do? The leaders have been killed. They are now going to be killed. They are going to be thrown away. So when Mr. Shahab was Division Secretary, Mr. Local Government under the Suki, he said, okay, what do you want us to do? I said, what I want to be done is give me 3 weeks. I will go there and establish 3 committees. Committee of elders, committee of immediate elders, and a committee of youth. 10 people each 30 to make a committee. And the Prime Secretary, Yahaguso, please, you should start layout. Anybody who tampered the layout will be imprisoned. Mark you, I had the responsibility to put anybody under custody of the police for up to 6 weeks, provided I should pay the money to feed him. Wallahi, the military was very strong.
So that power was with you?
Oh yes. So they agreed. And then I went and some of the committee. Some of the people are there, when I went to the most of the I said, oh, I used to alive. Baba used to alive. I said, I'm alive. They said, you help us to maintain. So you have some done the same. So that's the beginning of layout in Kaduna.
Kaduna will never forget you, really. Kaduna people will never forget you.
How can you? Just former civil servants, former traders, they've been there. No. Leave them alone. But layout. So that's the beginning of layout in Kaduna.
That's great.
That's the beginning.
Okay, now
The other aspect I want us to look at and touch is the 1965, 66, 67, activities in Nigeria, the historical activities. We keep talking about the coup that took place and how you people that were very close to this elder statesman then felt about it, and how your own people, as you are the heads of the provinces and the divisions and the rest of them, how people received the news and the rest of them. 1966 was a historical date in Nigeria. It was a very terrible year for all Nigerians, I must say. And going through some of your memos, I came across something like, how the Igbos left and how you managed their property and how people felt happy about it, and the unification program of Yakubu Gowon then as the head of state, and how he tried to keep Nigeria one in spite of secessionist, tendencies and the rest of them.
Mose Gibiri, one police officer attached to me for the capital territory, came to me and said, Alhaji, we must do something about these houses for the Igbos who they left. They left the property, that's something, who them are there, they're doing what they like, and so on and so forth. So I said, thank you, Mr. Igbiri. I will set the committee. But give me just 3 days. I set the committee on my own, not telling anybody. And they went in the air. I said people are entitled to take over and manage properties left by fleeing Igbos. I would appoint them, but they must be resident along that road. 2, they must have paid their tax for at least 2 years. 3, they must be people of good character. And I was surprised, letters flooded the office from all over the place. So I have to appoint people for each road, 2, 3, go and sort this out, I give you 3 days, finish it. And we work day and night. That is the beginning of appointing caretakers for properties left by Igbos. And then I open a deposit account for each house. There's a deposit account with a number. And anything obtained from the tenants, the person who was appointed caretaker have been paid what he collected, what he spent. Then from there, will give him 10% for bringing money into the deposit account of these participating persons. We gave, in fact, one person 2, 3, 4 houses with the equipment. Now I went to the air saying this is what I'm doing. Then Hassan has a voice that I wanted a weekly meeting. And kind of course, Major Hassan in those days, he said some members of the Life Kuri, the Permanent Secretary Minister of Social Welfare and Cooperative, he said I should have told his ministry what I was doing. So Major Hassan said, what I want to say, I said, well, he has got an officer under me. His officer should have told him what I'm doing. He can't ask me here. They said, oh yes, I was right. So from there, then Gawang asked Hassan, what are you doing? You haven't told me. I'm in charge. Not the reason under me, you're under me. He said, well, sir, we're trying to sort out things. He said, okay, try to sort it quickly and let me know. At the end of it, General Gawang used this. And he will tell the world that we are taking care of houses left by Igbos. They are Nigerians, our brothers and sisters. So from there, I was given another promotion, which I loved.
So the task of keeping Nigeria one starts to be done.
That's right.
And finally now, before we round up this very segment of this very episode of the program, let's look at the issue of Gawang's unification of Nigeria and what efforts he made, and how would you really assess or rate that very effort toward the time you retired?
You see, Gawang was, I think he was chosen by God specially. You know, his grandfather came to Zaria, to Sasa. From Plateau.
Oh, from Plateau, right.
So Gawang grew just a Bahaushe, virtually. He was there up to secondary level together with Hassan, Usman Farouk, and so on. You know, so he was feeling like it is all the same. I believe this helped him tremendously, because in those barracks he made a mosque built where people could pray. And I remember, I think that man has got special, what do you call this?
His DNA was special.
Specially built.
Yeah.
There was time, Supremacy Council, when I was Minister of Finance in the establishment. Now, General Gawang sat there from 11 a.m. to 12 midnight. He went out only once. Only once. I'm telling you, some.
That was 12 good hours.
Yes. Some of them went out. You find them not Gawang. I said, what your mind? What kind of built this man? And he made a mosque built there for Muslims. During prayer, he would say, Hassan, kai sallah. He said, I will sallah. Some will go and have enough somewhere. But Gawang is a person. Do you hear him now? But he's alive. And you know what is happening. And I'm saying this, hoping that people like who will read this or hear about them will go and ask him. And he will say yes, because he's still consciously right. So by and large, Gawang only lost out because the civilians are angry. And they're also hungry.
Gawang was a good person. He brought Nigeria together. He had plans for Nigeria, but unfortunately, you and some of your colleagues in the civil servant generally didn't feel like it was good enough to continue with Gawang. I don't know what his crime was.
The civil service never had anything against Gawang. Because if you are serving well, if you are honoring the rights of your duties, if you are performing in the way even the public would see you as a civil servant, to us, we can't tell the government. But his main problem is the local Hungary politicians, making Hungary. We know them. In Kaduna, if you want a book, in Kaduna alone, not even from Zaria, I give a list about 100 people. Soldier ba su da kyau, soldiers will defend us, that sort of thing. And unfortunately for him, he refused to honor his honor. That is, okay, I think it's time for me now to quit. Let us organize. But he didn't. So when he went to his Kampala with Usman Faruku, his tight friend at Mbaria College, they were together when the coup d'etat started. And Usman Faruku saved him or saved the situation. Because so many people went to come and say, okay, we will do this and that so that he can go there and cause trouble to get this. So she said no. Usman Faruku in his book also got this in his book. Said that he more or less convinced Gawon not to go back to Nigeria. He too said he would not go back to Nigeria Usman Faruku until after some time when things cooled down.
That's great for him.
You retired in 1979 from the public service.
That's right.
Why did you retire?
Well, I retired for two things. Fundamentally, I saw some of our elders, not only elders, I saw some of them, fathers. When they left the civil service, the pension would not help them carry their children, and those people, they used to say, okay, take this now to go to that to give our job. That will not happen. So I said, okay, what shall I do? I said, it is time for me to quit. Fundamentally, there are a lot of colleagues of mine who hated my position. Why should Dabo Sambo be there? Why should Dabo Sambo never go to bank and take bank overdraft? So, in Jos, Plateau province, you will see I put in several months. I was there and I was being paid £40 every month for 880 pounds covered. Not to my salary, allowance for the job I'm doing. So to them, this is not a justification. In the first place, I thought I have had enough. Secondly, despite the offer to go to the permanent secretary, I said I will not go. My life is life of a bushman. Kaduna is even too above for my life. What more over Lagos? What am I going to take in Lagos? I will not go. So Katagum came and interviewed me along with Isa Keita. Isa Keita was chairman of Kaduna State Public Service Commission. Immediately, having seen my records from birth, school here, school there, Kano, Hadija, Jos, Katsina, Kaduna, Permanent Secretary, Minister of Finance. He said, well, we'll figure this out, I tell him to be ready. But the one way she moved to Lagos. House had been arranged. We're looking for about 3 permanent secretaries across the country. Look at it. He was a Katsina man and then from Zaria. What he first said, Madam Dabo, congratulations. I said, okay, what happened? He had been appointed the permanent secretary, the Minister of Federal Government. So yes, I'm not. Once I think I have enough. When my letter of retirement was there with them, they said they will not release me. So I said, well, I will not go. You are under compassion, you have to go. I said, well, you can't take me because it's not an offense, and it's my right, sir. And I refused to go. And let me tell you, my not going helped me because within 3-4 months, there's another coup d'etat. Murtala took over. He retired all permanent secretaries from federal to all states, all retired. I would have lost four years pension. because I will be there only for 4 years. And they will be said to have been sent away. But now I'm going on my own.
So back.
Precisely.
That's great.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
That's life well spent.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And I was the returning officer for the 1979 elections.
Okay.
Deputy returning officer for the presidential, where Shagari was returned to power. And returning officer for Kaduna State, where Balari Musa was returned to power. MP and PRP.
PRP. And there you are in between. Which party did you belong to then?
Who?
You.
None.
You don't belong to any.
But in fact, they are all jittery.
Right.
Because they knew very well. Lawal Kaita, Balari Musa, and a lot of them. They say, this Dabo, I don't know what to do with him. And why did Alpha put me as the returning officer? And there are lots of insinuations. I said, well, I will return anybody, but I have to have 2 assistants because there will be tribunal. So Alpha said, who do you want? I said, no. Like you ask me, ask people to tell you who should be. But one must be from southern Kaduna, Ajaba preferably, because Ajaba is the Lawal Kaita's second mate. And Balari Musa, for him there's no problem. He's still went. Balari Musa is junior to me, a year in middle school, and also a year older than him. So we just play like what we play. We're in the same dormitory in the middle school. And this foot is the goal getter. When there's football match. And then they appointed the Bulus Gwini and the Abuja. When the tribunal. So when we declared Balari Musa won the election, Abuja, he's alive. Said we better go and tell Alpha. I said, oh, no. I said, let me tell you, security issues. The day we appointed, each one of you and the 2 of you have about 2-3 people, not them to themselves, even themselves, don't know themselves, to watch and record from the time we wake up to the time we went to bed. That is how civil society works. That is government. That's how I say this. So if we go and tell Alpha, they will come and say, we didn't announce until when we went Alpha approved. So the election will be spoiled.
That's all.
That was happened. The highly surprised. I said, no. How did I know this? I said, well, on a seminar. I went to a seminar in 1971 in Britain. Of all 17 colonial countries. I never knew, Kuwait was a colony under Britain those days.
Okay.
Well, we're all there.
Okay.
So it was there learn this sort of thing. Be careful when you're working for the public. Be careful. Otherwise, you will be in trouble. Through friends, also your own personal wish. Thank you.
We'll talk more about this when we come for the second meeting with you. I won't call it meeting now, it's not an episode, it's not a program, because a chance to meet you is a chance to have a great experience out of you. So thank you so very much. It's our pleasure. Thank you so much. We'll come back really and talk more about that and talk more about contemporary Nigeria and how you see it. It's our pleasure. Thank you so much. It's often been our pleasure too, because in the end they say it is not the the years in your life that counts, but the life in the years that you spend that counts so much. Yours has been very worthwhile. Thank you so much, sir. A very big thank you to you out there too for coming all this way. It's been a discussion with Abbas, Dabo, Sambo.